Second here. We're about to be live on YouTube. Okay, you are live on YouTube.
Okay, I didn't write nothing. It don't matter. Okay.
And you are now live on Facebook. You're live on both at the same time. If you want to go ahead and go down here and click your OBS.
Get that.
Yep. There you go. You're live on both softwares now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. We're checking in early. We're hosting our new YouTube channel. Okay, I gotta get we're working out the kinks. The show's getting ready to go live in a minute. All right, there we go. All I need is one mic, not two. Okay, we're testing it out. YouTube. Let's get this. Okay. Angela, we didn't get to write about what this is about. But
just wave your hand when you're about to go to break. I'll see if it'll glass. I was saying, just wave your hand when you get ready to go to break.
Okay. And you'll have the music and all that. Okay.
He's setting up those right now for me. We got like 2 minutes before we go live.
Okay, let's see. Good morning. Yes, well, you could contact me, Alicia Reece Soul Food. I don't know if I could put any comments back. We're doing a test on Facebook, my YouTube channel. We're doing a new test. Hi, Salita. So, David, we'll have contact information for you as soon as I learn how to do this. So Wanda, you can share. Let's make sure. Can you see me on Facebook Live? Oh, that's right. I got to like you. Okay. Hold on, guys. This is all new for me. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I am online. Okay. Let's do this. Share. We got 1 minute, then we going. Thanks, Salita. Here we go. Hold on.
Here today as a product of Dr. King's civil rights movement in the trenches of the battleground state of Ohio, city of Cincinnati, and the daughter of civil rights activist Dr. Stephen Reece Sr. and the late Barbara Howard Reece, who marched for me 50 years ago.
A champion for voting rights.
We're going to bring you people that know about business. We're going to bring you people that know about what's going on in the tech. Put some soul into this whole tech thing that's going on.
She's a fighter for the people.
Welcome, Reverend Al Sharpton, to the show.
Congratulations on the show. She's authentic.
We're bringing Joe Madison, known as the Black Eagle.
Congratulations on having the show. Nothing is more important than the local programs that engage our communities.
She's a proud HBCU grad It's time for Alicia Reece's Soul Food, food for the soul, on Cincinnati's 24-hour urban gospel connection, Inspiration 1050 AM and 103.1 FM, WGRI.
Okay, now we got a lot going on. First of all, we're live on the radio in the Cincinnati, Indiana, and Kentucky radius on WGRI, which is 101.5 FM. If you wanna go to AM, so people love AM, we're on 1050 AM, and we're also streaming on inspiration1050.com. We're on Alicia Reece Soul Food podcast, Facebook Live. We're kicking off our very, very new YouTube page called Reece Talk Media. Now that's Reece, REECETALK, Reece Talk Media. Subscribe on YouTube. So we're doing it. I mean, we're really doing it in here. And today is the kickoff, and we're kicking it off. We're working out some of the kinks, some of the bugs, and we're kicking off Women's History Month. We just came out of Black History Month. Now, for those who talk about, they always tell me, Black History, it's more than 28 days. I agree. So it's more than 28 days. We are challenging you right now. Now we don't got y'all. I heard that music come on. I just heard that. We're not going to break yet. So, Black History Month. Many people told me, "Oh, it's more than 28 days." You're absolutely right. Some people have said it's 365 days. We are going to see today, because we are in March. I'm gonna see if you're gonna really keep celebrating, keep talking about the many accomplishments that African Americans are making. Are you going to continue to be making a difference? We're going to find out today. And you can start off by joining me tonight, Friday. I know we replay on Saturday, so if you hear the show on Saturday, you missed it. This Friday, March the 1st, last week we talked about Adam Clayton Powell. And everything that you guys are doing in the studio, I can hear in my headsets. It's coming across the air. So, but tonight, Friday night, March 1st, we're going to be talking about Adam Clayton Powell, former congressman, the Adam Clayton Powell story. We talked about it last week on our show, Alicia Reece Soul Food. And if you want to see that show on who is Adam Clayton Powell, you need to like our page on Facebook, Alicia Reece Soul Food, ALICIA REECE Soul Food. Just type that in. You can get last week's show. You got a lesson on who former Congressman Adam Clayton Powell was. I'm talking about passing more bills than anybody. You have all these people saying, I want to run for office, but they get no legislation passed. They make no impact on resources. Sometimes can't get a bill passed, but you got some resources that came into the community. You might not have got a bill passed, but you got an amendment to a bill. And so, but we got too many people running and not enough people getting anything of substance done. I mean, we jump up and we say we got this month and that month. This month and that month is happening. But, little stuff. And here's a man who was in Congress virtually alone in terms of the numbers of African Americans. Alone. And people were afraid of him because of the Adam Clayton Powell amendment. That means when they brought a bill, he came in with an amendment to the bill and said, our amendment got to get in the bill. And then that required negotiation skills. Anything you get done, you got to have negotiations. Anytime you're trying to get the deal done, whether it's a business deal, whether it's a piece of legislation deal, the deal requires key negotiating skills. I hate to, a lot of people, of course, I don't support Donald Trump. I mean, that's no shock to anybody. But, he went over to North Korea and they was trying to do what? Negotiate a deal. Now he came back empty-handed. He didn't get it done. But Adam Clayton Powell got it done almost, over 80 bills, I think, in one session. But you can find out that if you're in Cincinnati, you're in the greater Cincinnati area, you in Dayton, you in Kentucky, come on out tonight for the Adam Clayton Powell story. It's a play called The Adam Clayton Powell Experiment, Find out about him, because you got to have the people that's protesting. Obviously, that's you had Martin Luther King. They got to protest. You got to have the pressure, and unfortunately, no change gets done without pressure. So all this, well, let's just get along. You can't get along at the beginning if you're trying to make a change. You will not be popular if you're trying to be a change agent. So how people all the time say, I'm a change agent, but look at me, everybody love me. Well, you can't be a change agent, because when there's change, when there's a quest for change, there's what you call resistance. There's resistance. So you can't be both. You can't be a change agent and you're popular. Now, you might be popular like Dr. King after you die, and then people try to water down your message and your legacy. Then you become popular. But you can't be popular to everybody if you're trying to be a change agent. So Adam Clayton Powell, he was not the protester. You got to have those. He was the guy on the inside. Once there was protest at the table saying, okay, now we got to write these laws. We got to redo these bills. Now we've got to, put this stuff pen to paper, get this stuff in action. And then he had to go through whatever that process is, because in getting laws changed, there's a process. It ain't just, oh, well, Alicia, we like what you're saying and let's get it done today. I wish it was. But there's a process you got to go through. And a lot of times people use process to stop progress. They use process to stop progress. I got to drop some hot sauce today. So today is the kickoff of Women's Month, and we got an exciting month on our show, Alicia Reece Soul Food. Number one, we're kicking off our first YouTube page, Reece Talk Media. Reece Talk Media we have our own page now. So I need you to go to YouTube and to subscribe to Reece Talk Media. That's number one I need you to do. We got to have this, we got to have some assignments. Number two, I need you to go to Facebook, if you haven't already done it, and like Alicia Reece Soul Food. Now, I'm going to spell Alicia Reece, because a lot of people want to put an S on my name, or they spell Alicia different ways, or, they think of the Reese cup, so they're going to put the S with Reece. No, it's ALICIA REECE. And then, of course, you know how to spell soul food. So you go to Facebook, Alicia Reece Soul Food, like that. Why? Because we're going to have some giveaways, some extras. The show can only go so long. And then we have some outtakes. We do a special edition that you don't get. We got giveaways, all of that. So you want to like Alicia Reece Soul Food on Facebook. Number two, you want to take this video, everybody who's listening and watching us live, that's checking in, Wanda Miller, representing Las Vegas, Renee Beckley, Karen Evans, known as KK Salita. Thank you for checking in from Washington, D.C. We need you to share. So you want to like. Number two, you want to share. And number three, you want to subscribe to our channel. We got a channel now. You know how they got the networks? See, Cassie, I saw it on CNN. They said it on MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS. Now you got Reece Talk Media. Reece Talk Media channel, like that on YouTube. So today you're making history. We got our own page, Women's History Month. We're launching the Alicia Reece channel. It's called Reece Talk Media. Reece Talk Media. And it's Women's Month. So want to make sure today we got a great show. This show is going to be about, I'm going to give you my story, because this whole month we're going to be giving stories and hearing stories from extraordinary women who have had to overcome. And I don't want to hear just everything was great. I want to show some stories of what we had to do, how we had to overcome these things. Everybody's reading Michelle Obama's book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it, Becoming. And people getting excited. They're filling arenas to hear her story, Becoming. And, here's will you sign my book? And they're crying and they're hugging and all these things. And that is wonderful. That is wonderful. The Michelle Obama, how she became Michelle Obama. But there's some other becomings among us in our communities, in our churches, around the country. And We need to know, how did they become who they've become? And at the end of the day, it's not I don't think it's a period behind it. Because if you're still, God is still waking you up, he kept you still on this earth, that means you still have an assignment. So you can't really just, that's why she made it becoming, meaning you got to keep going, because she's still evolving, she's still growing. And a lot of times in life, people say, how did you make it? Nobody's made it. You don't, I mean, there's no mountaintop, it's over. It's not over until you don't wake up. You still are in a process, and there's some ups and some downs, some valleys, some trials, some tribulations. That's what life is. And a lot of times you see what you think is the finished product or what you see on social media. That's why we call this show, Alicia Reece, Soul Food. Why? Because soul food, you got to do it from scratch. You got to put some scratch together and make a meal. You got to, if you're doing collard greens right, you ain't going to get them done in 15 minutes. If somebody cooking collard greens in 15 minutes, I'm telling you right now, don't eat them. But you got to put your soul into it. And that requires work. That requires patience and work and creativity. And so that's what we're doing, Alicia Reece Soul Food. So we're going to take a quick break. But before we take that break, join me on Friday. I'm going to give you a chance right now. There were a couple people already had signed up. They're going to be with me. They're going with me as my guest to the play tonight, which is Friday. So if you listen to me on Saturday, you've missed it. On Friday, March the 1st, if you want to go to the play with me, go to Alicia Reece Soul Food page, put in your name, your first and your last name, and we'll get tickets to you so you can go tonight and hear and see and learn about the Adam Clayton Powell story. We're going to take a quick break, and it's going to be tonight at the Aronoff. At the Aronoff in Cincinnati, Ohio. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Again, you get a chance to win tickets with me. And then if you only have so many. So if they're gone, you also have a chance to buy some tickets. They, only $25. But it's at the Aronoff Center for the Arts Theater in Cincinnati, Ohio, downtown Cincinnati. Starts tonight at 7:30. The Adam Clayton Powell story. Now I'm going to test to see how many people are there. All the people that said, we got to go beyond 28 days. I'm mad about 28 days. Child, it's 365 days. Oh, it's more than, they got all kind of slogans, more than February, beyond February. Well, we're going to see if you pack it out tonight in Cincinnati, Ohio at the Aronoff as we give the Adam Clayton Powell story. Well, we take this break. We'll be right back, and we're going to start our segment, Becoming. And I got a lot of questions people ask me. I'm going to answer those questions about Alicia Reece. How did she do it? They always ask me, how did she do it? And I'm like third person. How did you do it? Tell me about it. So I'm going to tell you some stories you may not have heard before. When we come back on Alicia Reece Soul Food, I don't hear my music. You ready? Okay, I don't hear anything. Okay, we working out the bugs. You got the breaks ready? Okay. All right, when we come right back on Alicia Reece Soul Food after this.
Somebody named David is saying, good morning, sis. Please, praise the Lord. How can we contact you right now?
Okay. You want to come and read them? You want to come over here and read them?
Nope.
Have you or someone you know been in a car, motorcycle, or trucking accident? Time is of the essence. You may be hurt and not even know it. Call the Cochran Firm now in Cincinnati. Founded over 40 years ago by Johnny L. Cochran Jr., the Cochran Firm is one of the premier law firms in the country. They're committed to being your advocate if you've been a victim of a serious injury, car, motorcycle, or trucking accident. Choose a successful, reputable law firm. Don't wait. Call the Cochran Firm right now at 381-HURT. That's 381-HURT. Online at CochranOhio.com.
Eastern Personnel Services Incorporated, located at 619 Central Avenue, is looking for you. Their clients are looking for awesome workers with great work ethic, good work history, and outstanding skills. Are you a professional in healthcare, have clerical or administrative skills, hospitality, customer care, industrial, general labor? Are you in construction or a driver? If so, call their job line at 513-230-5034. That's 513-230-5034. Eastern Personnel Services Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
The words that describe my father is from the bottom up because nobody gave him anything. He's our GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Whenever I need somebody to tell me the truth, he's the person that I go to.
I figured out a long time ago that the greatest profession of all time is ownership.
I don't think your dad's afraid of anybody.
He was always there to support us.
Probably the closest thing I can think of to being self-made.
From the bottom up, the Dr. Stephen Reece Sr. Story, produced and directed by Alicia Reece, available on YouTube.
Okay, we're back. Alicia Reece Soul Food, and today we are launching. So if we have any type of little bugs, today we're launching. We are live on the radio, FM dial, 103.1 FM. We are on streaming on inspiration1050.com. We are on Alicia Reece Soul Food radio show and podcast, Facebook Live. We are on our new YouTube channel. Please subscribe, Reece Talk Media. Reece Talk Media. We're doing all of that live at one time. And we're kicking off Women's Month. And so we're kicking off Women's Month. We just came out of Black History Month. And also this month, I want to let you know that we also are kicking off our new health segment, Health for Your Soul. And we're kicking that off. And so you'll hear more about that. And with Interact for Health and Dr. Odell Owens. So we're kicking off that segment. So we're going to give you, tips for your health. We're going to give you amazing stories of women's stories before. I want the story before the glory. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they, I'm this, I'm that, I'm wonderful. Give me, what did it take? How did you do it? And so today I've had a lot of questions people ask me, and I wrote some of them down. But those who are tuning in on Facebook Live, thanks Renee tuning in. Dr. Abercrombie, thank you for tuning in from University of Cincinnati. Dr. Eric Abercrombie, the African Culture Center. Jackie Taggart Boyd, thank you for tuning in. Weston Hotel, tuning in. So, and Pastor Quentin Monroe, thank you for tuning in. So if you have a question, I had some questions that people have asked me. If you have a question, hit me on Facebook Live. I'm going to try to answer them in the time that I have on this show as we kick off Women's History Month. Women who are making history, and women are really doing some things, I'm telling you, doing some extraordinary things. And we're going to be able to hit some of that. We gave you a preview of what the show would be like for Women's Month. We gave you a preview in January, the Adrienne Trimble story. You all remember her. She's the CEO of the National Minority Diversity Supplier Council. And so we gave her story. So first question someone asked me was, of course, all the time, give me your background. So we got people tuning in from all over who may not know about my background. And I want to say in the studio, I have my good friend, Cookie, the original Cookie, not the one from Empire. Now I think Empire should pay her, but Cookie's in the house and she's taking questions. And will be able to give me some questions as well. So as people are giving them to me on the on social media. Okay, number one, Alicia Reece. Let me go really fast. It's hard to put everything in a short period of time. I'm from Cincinnati, born and raised in Cincinnati, and have extraordinary parents, Barbara Howard Reece and Dr. Stephen Reece. And I basically grew up with my parents and got a chance to see a lot in politics, entrepreneurship, My father worked for Cincinnati's first African-American mayor, Theodore M. Berry, and I used to be at City Hall a lot. So I got a chance to see some of the sit-ins when they were trying to integrate the police department. A lot of different things I saw at a young age. Entrepreneurship. My parents started their company in downtown Cincinnati, one of the first African-American advertising agencies. For those who don't know, they started in 2 rooms. I was right there as a little girl with them every step of the way as their company grew. I started a lot of commercials. I never got my check. I don't know, Dr. Reece, if you're listening, I did not get my check. I'm waiting on my check, but I was in there. I was always the little girl of the family. So I was in Cincinnati Bell commercials. I was in a number of commercials. They did commercials for Cincinnati Bell. They said they were first to do call waiting when call waiting first came out. So that's how long ago they go back. They did the Ohio tourism commercial with Jane Kennedy, and I was tagging along then. And so starting a lot of commercials. So I guess I should put that on my record. Everything now people put in social media. I'm an actress. So I guess I'm an actress because I've been in these commercials as a kid and grew up in the advertising promotions, watched my parents move from downtown, successful company, and go back to the community. And that's when I learned giving back is so important. They went back to the old empty warehouse building that everyone said was an eyesore, and a community that people said was dying. They bought it. They invested their own money. I watched them take a dirt basement that I thought was, oh my God, and then turn it into a banquet hall, one of the first African-American banquet halls in Cincinnati. Had over 3,000 events. I worked those events. So that's why I'm in events. People say, why do you know how to do events? Because I worked those events. But anyway, I went to Withrow High School. It's a popular high school. It's a public school. I went to public school my whole life. I would like to say it was easy. It was not. My parents, particularly my dad, was very active with Reverend Jesse Jackson and back in the Push days and then Rainbow Push. And I spent my summers going to civil rights events, civil rights conferences, Rainbow Push or National Action Network. I didn't get to go to Disney World till I was like in my late 20s, I said mid 20s. I was Miss Grambling State and I got to compete at Disney World. That was my first trip to Disney World. But every summer I was marching, organizing, or going to a civil rights event. My fun vacations was the Shriners Convention. My dad was, still is, over promotions for the International African-American Shriners. And I went to every convention. So I was happy with what, city they were going to go to next, because that was like our family vacation. My dad worked, and we had a chance to, just go and meet kids from all over the world. When I came back to Cincinnati, my mindset was not Cincinnati. What do I mean by that? Even though Cincinnati is my hometown, unfortunately for people who look like me, African-American and female, they had a cap on what you could be. You had to fit in a box. If you don't fit in A, B, or C, you want to be empowered. You want to be a thinker. You want to go outside of the box of your color. I was trained that I can compete with the best. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what school you went to. It's basically the best people get out here like a basketball game, and the best person wins. But unfortunately, it's hard to get out here in the game when they've already, you only get 5 fouls in a basketball game, and you start off the game and they already gave you 4.5. It's hard when they say you can't play in this league. And so my father, I was the firstborn, and there's a 7.5-year difference before my next sibling, who is a male and a coach. And good luck, Coach Reece. He's in the Elite 8 basketball tournament, going for back-to-back state championships in Florida. But anyway, I always say I was the first son that my dad had. So he raised me. I was a female. I'm all female, but I was raised with the mentality of a son, meaning no excuses, no complaints, no obstacles. You still, a lot of confidence. You're the best. Don't sell out your integrity. And so just growing up, I was basically hanging out with my parents. I love hanging out with my parents. It was, We went everywhere together, concerts, everything. I felt I could take on the world as long as I had my parents and God. And they put in me God, to be honest. They had to teach me and keep training me about who God is, and basically giving me my strength and my faith and understanding that they're my parents, but God supersedes it. So they put those things in me. We sit around the dinner table. All we talked about was politics, sports, and African American empowerment. And then I would go out into a world where, I would have to defy everything that the world was trying to teach me. Because the world was teaching me that you're nothing, you're black, you can't be nobody. And so therefore that was some of the things that was instilled in me. So that makes me the person that I am today. So anyway, I went to Withrow High School. I ran and became class president because I saw Reverend Jesse Jackson run for president of the United States. Became class president. I went on from class president and went to Grambling State University. I turned down Brown University, which was an Ivy League school that heavily recruited me. At the last minute, I told my dad, hey, Dad, something came to me. I think God's trying to tell me something. I want to go to a black college. He said, what? It's last minute. So anyway, we went on, and God sent me 2 alumni from Grambling, 3, and they recruited me. I went to Grambling, never saw the school or anything. Went down to Grambling State University. People said I wouldn't make it. She's never been away from home. Those girls from the South, they're going to eat her alive, all these things. And my whole life has been nothing but you can't do something. So everything I've done in life is because when you say I can't do it, that makes me do it. So in school growing up, I had a teacher tell me, oh, you'll never make honor roll. Well, I really wasn't thinking about making honor roll, but because she said it, I'm going to stay up all night, and now I'm going to make honor roll. Then they said, well, you'll never make A honor roll. Well, didn't really care about making A honor roll, but now you say I couldn't do it, I'm going to make sure I make A honor roll. Basketball coach, oh, she'll never be anything. She's just a YMCA player. She'll never make high school ball. Was not thinking about playing high school basketball. But now that you said that, I got to stay up all day, all night, working with my dad, become a basketball player. Basketball coach in high school, Alicia never played college. Okay, wasn't thinking about playing college, but now I'm going to play college, played for Grambling, won a SWAC championship. So then it was like, oh, well, she can never be Miss Grambling. She had high top shoes on. She don't know nothing about high heel shoes. Well, really wasn't that important to me at the time, but now I got to be Miss Grambling because now you said I can't be it. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Grambling's decision was the best decision that I ever made. So anyway, I'm giving you this because I want to give you what my mindset is, because I could get on here and tell you I done this and done that, and we getting ready to get to that. But you got to understand, what is her mindset? And a lot of times we talk about women in history and we hear that background. We got to know, what is their mindset? What drives you? So anyway, I come back home to Cincinnati and I'm like ready to take on the world, because Grambling is telling, you go to Grambling, it's tough, it's rough. They basically, it's like a boot camp of, let me tell you what the world gonna give you and let me prepare you, because you got to be 5 to 6 times better. So when I came out, I knew I had to be 5 to 6 times better. But I had traveled with Eddie Robinson, the greatest football coach in history. I've seen this man. I've been down here where I've seen African-American president of the university, not just over the black students. I'm talking about the whole university. I've seen coaches that are head coaches, not just the assistant coach. I've seen deans, not just over diversity, not the inclusion director, but the dean of the entire university. So I come home and I'm like, listen, I can look like I look, meaning that I'm black. I could be a female, and I can, if I got in my head, I can do it. If I'm qualified, I should have it. So anyway, I came back home in Cincinnati, and young people were leaving Cincinnati like crazy. So all this, young people are here and we just so happy. That was not the case when I came home. Anybody that looked like me, that had something going on like I had going on, they never came back to my city. They said, I got to go to Atlanta. I got to go to Detroit. I got to go, California. I got to go somewhere where I'm not limited based on my color. So anyway, I said, well, this is my hometown. we can do it here. So when I got here, fast forward, I didn't want to run for city council. I was not interested in politics. But when I was in Grambling, reason why people say, why are you so big about voting rights? Well, when I was at Grambling, we took on David Duke, former KKK Grand Wizard. And in Grambling, we registered voters and we registered young people. So all this, can we register young people? We registered thousands and we defeated the KKK guy running for governor. When I put together a get out to vote plan as a student, I did that. So I've been about voting rights. So anyway, fast forward, I come home. People may not know this. I wanted to be Oprah. So Oprah meaning have my own media company. That's why I need y'all to subscribe. Reece Talk Media. Reece Talk Media didn't just pop up. My degrees in communications. This is what I'm going to do. I had a radio show at Grambling. #1 radio show in 3 states, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. So this ain't new. So I come home, I'm ready to do all this, but God had a different plan for me. I ran to Congresswoman Maxine Waters. We brought her to town. Now I was behind the scenes. Okay, now I want to show y'all this because you watch the hearings of Cohen and everybody's debating about when they brought the black woman up from HUD and they said she could stand and be seen, but she can't do no talking. She can stand and be seen, but we can't let her do no thinking. Well, when I came, I brought Congresswoman Maxine Waters. I was behind the scenes, pushing other people that didn't look like me, which is fine. But when I got to talking, when they finally let me talk, she said, well, hold up. You don't need to be behind no scene. You don't need to be no prop. You can think. You should be the leader. And I said, well, I want to organize young black kids all over the country on black college campuses to get them out to vote. Now, this is before we had all these organizations. I created Jam the Vote. So she said, no, you need to be the candidate. So she saw something in me. The health clinics were going to close in Cincinnati. Now, this is before Obamacare, all that we're fighting on now. And health clinics was a place that people had to go who didn't have health insurance and, pay a little bit as they go. And so they were going to close them in Cincinnati. And I got mad. I called Congresswoman Maxine Waters. She said, you done called me, now you're running. So I ended up running. I become city council. And at that time, it was not popular to be young. Like now, everybody, oh man, get these young people. Old folks, get out the way. That's not what was said. They said, you look too young. You're dark skinned. We didn't have at that time no woman of dark complexion or brown complexion on city council. There had only been 2 other women, black women on council. And they were older. And so here I come, brown skin, aggressive with my style. And I came and I won. Now, this is the reason I want to tell you that because we're celebrating history this year. This is the 20th year of the historic city council race of 1999 when I declared to run for Cincinnati City Council and then won and became the youngest woman in history and still the youngest woman of any race to be on Cincinnati City Council. So we win. We go to the corners with signs. Everybody I go to, you ain't gonna win, you can't win. People saying my dad made me run because she couldn't possibly be this smart. But remember, my parents had already the seeds have been planted in my head. I've already made accomplishments down at Grambling. I've already been in training. God had trained me. I'm ready to go. But they hadn't seen someone like me. So anyway, I win. And I don't win at the end, the bottom. I'm number 5. 21 people ran. There's only 9 seats available. Out of 9 seats, 8 of them was incumbents. Other ones had $250,000. Now, let me tell you, I had $60,000. So all these people, I won on the first try, but you had over 100,000. I had $60,000. Directed and produced my own commercial. My own commercial. I wrote it, directed it, and produced it, and started it. Because I didn't have no money. Went to the street corner with signs because people wouldn't open their doors because this little black girl knocking on their door. So I had to go. That's why we ain't at the street corner just to grin and blow. No, the street for people, I mean, I say blow, meaning blow their horns for the cars. No, I research how many cars come by at what time so that I can get name recognition. And then I had to go into every debate and win it. So anyway, when everybody say you can't do it, can't be done. And then at the time, even have people who are African Americans come to me and say, wait a minute, you need to look older. You don't own any pearls. Your hairstyle. I didn't change any of that. You need to look older, put a little more powder on your face so you look a little lighter. I never did any. I never compromised because remember, I've been fed with the seed that I'm somebody. And I don't need validation. I don't need your money. I don't need you to tell me I'm great. That's why it gets me when people knock me on the shoulder. I remember another time I was at an event, not an event, but I was in a negotiation. And afterwards, a white guy tapped me on the shoulder. He didn't go with it. He tapped me on the shoulder. I just want to tell you, you're smart. And, I really think you're smart. And he didn't go, with what we were trying to do. And I appreciate you telling me this, but who told you I needed your validation? I wasn't here to ask you what you thought about me. I'm here to get a deal. So long story short, did all that. And because I'm an athlete, I'm competitive. So the athleticism creates the understanding of winning and being competitive. So I'm a competitive, athlete. So anyway, we go into this and we go to city council. We get a lot of stuff done at City Hall. Okay. And people tend to forget because, there's so much going on. We got a lot of things done. We got the nursing law since it's Women's Month. Women employees being able to have an area where they can nurse their children when they have children. That was a nursing law done. They forget that small business tax credit, that was done. Repealing the small business tax, that I did that. I got more bipartisan bills done than ever before with Pat DeWine. So we got those things done. So we went on city council. That was a career. And we ran for mayor. I ran for mayor and didn't win. I was first woman to ever run in a direct election of mayor. Okay, we had changed the system, how you elect a mayor. I got in a race, didn't win. Okay, didn't win. We've never had an African-American female mayor, but that was in 2005. So we're not new to this, we true to this. So we come out in 2005, I go back into marketing, which is my background. And then I get a call from the lieutenant governor and the governor at that time, Ted Strickland and Lee Fisher, and I'm appointed to do tourism because I had done a lot of tourism for Cincinnati. I wrote the campaign, Cincinnati on the Move. I made them hire their first African-American, Jason Dunn, who's now a vice president, made them hire. They didn't care if you qualified. They wasn't hiring no black people then. I was doing all the work for them for free as the vice mayor. And I said, it's going to stop. And then put the plan together that got the National Baptists to come to Cincinnati. And then, of course, they came back that opened the door for the NAACP. So I did all this while being the vice mayor of Cincinnati. Ran for mayor, didn't. But even when you did that, Alicia, you ain't good enough, even though you saved our city, even though you brought us in money, even though you've done all this, improved yourself, even though your resume is right, we now, even though you saved our city when we were at the lowest of the low and brought money here, you are still not good enough to be our mayor. You're black, you're female. That's what people tell me. You're black, you're female, and you're just too aggressive. So we're just not going to let you be the mayor. So they went on. I didn't become the mayor. So what? Moved on. Anyway, went to the state, ended up being over tourism for the entire state of Ohio. Did the branding for the state. Did the campaign for not just the black campaign, the mainline campaign. Then became the interim director of the film office. So all these films that you're seeing, they couldn't come without the film tax credit. And I had to write the rules. And I wrote the rules. But of course, they don't remember. We don't remember that. We're going to move on. We get in the films and we moving on. Wrote the rules for the tax credits. Then I came back home to Cincinnati. I never left Cincinnati. I never leave. I always, I'll commute. But I came back and I ran and became state representative. Now, Counsel in itself, we can go 3-4 hours on my record with counsel. And we'll maybe do that. And, you know, we got to have more time in the show. But I told you a lot of things that I got done. Just the tip of the iceberg, you know, 30-day pay, any minority business. I got a law where you have to get paid in 30 days with the city of Cincinnati. You know, when I showed up, they had to have diversity. Now, you know, I ain't there no more. All of a sudden, you know, you don't see as much diversity on development projects and 3CDC and those kind of things in terms of decision making. See, we got to move from props to decision makers. That's the difference. The difference between, we had the lady stand up at HUD. They didn't let her talk. They didn't let her have no say. They didn't let her have a power. Now, she might have had a resume, but they didn't let her do anything. We got too many people, Black. When we say we want some African American, we're not looking for you to put no props. We got too many props. People in positions, but they ain't got no power. They Black, but no power. They Black, but they ain't allowed to say nothing. They Black, but they ain't got no budget. And if they got a budget, they only can put a couple $100 here. That I'm talking about over millions. When I was at the state, I was RFP and had a voting. I was a voting member of a $1 million contract that went to minorities. And more than that, I had other contracts too. But my point is, you know, and then when one of the Black radio stations, Radio 1, I can tell you, all over the state called and said the state ain't done no advertising. I could pick up the phone and get money for advertising. Got it done for this all over. Radio 1, not just in Ohio, but all over the regions that we were targeting. That's power. Not somebody that, well, I can't do it. They got me in community affairs. I'm only in diversity. I can only give out maybe $10,000. That ain't power. So anyway, moving forward, I become state representative, go up to Columbus. I didn't know, you know, it's 132 people in the House of Representatives. There's 99. You got to make your way. How do you make your way? How do you get something done? I'm in the minority. The Democrats have lost. We can't get no bills done. So I got to be creative. And in that, the power is usually in Cleveland when it comes to the Black Caucus. But for me to, you know, the colleagues from all over the state to elect me to be the president of the Black Caucus, in fact, they recruited me. I didn't even think about being President Black. My dad said he can't even believe it could happen because they weren't letting anybody from Cincinnati at that time, especially a Black female, be the president of the Black Caucus. So I became the president of Black Caucus, not one term, but twice for the entire state. And so now I'm responsible for not only my district, but the whole state of Ohio, Black folks, 1.1 million or what have you, 1.5 million. And so I created a day of action, the first Black lobbying day at the state of Ohio. And I'm glad that the Black Caucus is continuing that because we never had a lobby day. Everybody else goes and lobby for their issues, but not Black people. We had a lobby day with over 500 people from all over the state coming. That we have now. We had Power of the Black Vote tour bus that I initiated, and we picked up seats in areas where they're not Black majorities. And at that time was the largest amount of Blacks in the history of the Ohio General Assembly. And I put together that plan to help with that with my colleagues. In that, I brought money back to the district. The Urban League, over $300,000 a year when I was there. And I'm talking about no bills. The Police Partnering Center, first time ever getting funding from the state. The Summer Youth Program, and I want to give a shout out to Cincinnati Recreation Commission. I know they're hosting the mayor's job fair. It's going to happen next Friday, the 8th, and Saturday, the 9th. I'm going to speak on the 8th. I speak every year, but I brought money. They cut the budget for the youth. I went to the governor and said, wait a minute, I need that money. And we got an extra $2 million that came for youth to have jobs. I created a CDL program. I said, you got to get your CDLs. We need people with CDLs. Created a partnership with the Community Action Agency, not only in Cincinnati, but throughout the whole state. With funding. And I'm not talking about funding where you got to go see John and Paul and Tammy and somebody else and try to convince them. It was basically now it's down to paperwork and a signed contract. So, and then in development, I was on finance. I didn't just do stuff. They said, oh, you only did stuff with Black people. I mean, 90% of the budget, probably like 99% of it doesn't go to Black people. And I'm on finance. So everything for the business community, the projects they wanted, that's in there. But I also wanted to make sure that African Americans get the piece of the pie too. I'm like Adam Clayton Powell. I got the Powell Amendment. I'm coming with an amendment. And so with that, we had the Martin Luther King Highway Exchange. I wanted y'all to take a moment on this. The reason I wanted to do this, my friend Cookie convinced me to do this show. She said, I want you to interview everybody else. I need you to finally tell the truth. Because too many people walk around and say, I don't know what Alicia Reece has done. And, you know, they'll lie on you like they did the movie The Green Book. The man is dead. They lied and said the man was drinking alcohol. He don't drink no alcohol. Somebody else done took his story, took the Green Book that used to be the book Black folks had to use to travel, and now making a whole bunch of money. And the man that they made a story about was just a bouncer and was fired by the man. So I don't want nobody lying on my story. And so anyway, the Martin Luther King Highway Exchange, I want you to see this. Now, this girl from Withrow High School, public schools, who went down south to the Black college called Grambling State University, who stood up on the floor by herself to get funding for Central State because they wanted to give them $0. So they said, Alicia, you will never be popular again because you stood up against the Speaker of the House at that time and say Central State got to get something. Now, as a result, Central State got millions, almost $10 million in investment. Now, after they got the money, they went and hired the people that didn't want them to have the money. They didn't, you know, Alicia Reece barely got a thank you. But I knew it was the right thing to do. Then we go to transportation. And I know we talking about the bus, and that's so important, the buses and the public transportation. But there's some people that got some cars. And they don't never let us get in on the, you know, bridges and roads and highway. They say that's not supposed to be for Black people. Y'all over here, y'all get on the bus. Don't get over here talking about the highways. And so I'm on transportation finance, and I'm like, hold on, if we're going to finance something in Cleveland and we're going to finance something over here, we got to have something come home to Cincinnati. And so we got the Martin Luther King Exchange. Now, they're giving credit to the mayor. I ain't against the mayor. The mayor came up with the concept when he was running for Congress, and I was on council, was the vice mayor. He was on council. I supported the concept, but the concept could never get done because we couldn't never get the funding from the state. So you fast forward, take me from vice mayor in the 2000s, take me to State House in the mid 2000s, almost 10 years later? And I get the governor to say, listen, let's put the rubber meet the road. And the Martin Luther King exit is done. Now they say this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing, not in my package, not in what the vessel that God put me. You're Black. Remember what they told me, you're Black, you're female, you ain't got no money. That's what they're going to, you didn't come from no money. How dare you be over here dealing with the trucking association, dealing with the highways, dealing with the engineers, dealing with talking about getting a highway exit, transportation. Are you kidding me? But because of what was put in me, the seeds, I believe I could compete too. So I believe my ideas are good too for everybody, not just Black people, for everybody. So now when you get off on that exit in Cincinnati, I-71, and it says Martin Luther King exit, and you get off of it, people who get off of it is going to be Black people, white people, old people, young people, Hispanic people, Asian people, anybody got a car. It ain't got no discrimination. You get off on the exit on your way to the hospital, on your way to the college, on your way to Thompson McConnell Cadillac, on your way to the African American Chamber. You get off that exit. It's Women's History Day, Women's History Month. Alicia Reece played a role. Now, they'll write me out of the story like they wrote the guy out of the Green Book. They'll write me out of the story just like they wrote the lady out of the story for the Hidden Figures. Wait till she get 90. And then they'll jump up. We discovered her. Now she's 90 years old and the other one done died. But this is real situations. This ain't about personalities, I like or not like. It's about delivery. And so we get this exit. And you say, why is she so angry? Because the exit, I got it. I made sure it was named after Dr. King. And then all of a sudden, these other people come back and they geniuses. And it hurts me because we got African Americans who are on boards. I'm not for African American on a board if you can't speak up. If you're going to get on a board and you're going to be scared, don't go. If I'm just going to go to the state house, be in a meeting with the governor and don't ask for nothing for the people, I might as well don't be there. Then you don't need me there. And it's not like, oh, you know, well, you got to, I know how to negotiate. I done got big deals done. I done got the deal done to save this city in a crisis. That's called crisis management. You know, everybody watching Scandal. That's what she did. But she got paid for it. Crisis, and the real person is Judy Smith. I helped the city in crisis management. That's what I did. I went and put a campaign together for the city of Cincinnati called Cincinnati on the Move that brought in return on investment of money. Baptist Convention has brought in $50 million. That's 2 times, 25 million, another 25 million. When someone else take me out of the package and put me in another package, y'all be hollering about, oh my God, this person should be, you know, governor, and this person should be the CEO, and this person should be sitting on boards, and this person's a genius. And even our own people get to that point. I got people now ask me, well, what was your resume? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? I got people now that wanted me to fight for them and then question me. Well, I would fight for you, but do y'all got any money? You know, they say this about our church. Do y'all have any money? But the thing I have is integrity. I've got offers, financial offers for me to walk away from my church development so that my church would be kicked out. Most people would take the money. But because of what was planted in me, the seeds that were planted in me at a young age, that's why I think the way I think. I've had people, oh, you know, if you just played the game, girl, you would have had something. You ain't got nothing. What do you have? You have a check that they could take away? So my point is, this is my history, I guess. And my friend Cookie gets on me because she gets so upset because she wants me to talk about the things that I've been able to get done. Yes. I got the most contracts ever in the history for the state to go to minority businesses. And then when you see the minority businesses, they're going to walk past me with their chest out. Are you kidding me? And look down on me. Are you serious? You got African Americans sitting on boards. You come in and I'm overqualified to be over the convention. Now we bring in the most conventions, blacks. The conventions that we're bringing are repeats of conventions that I helped get. And the only person that has a position is the guy that I had to jump on the phone and go off on y'all to hire. And you've made limited progress since then. But then you come back and say, well, someone has already asked me, well, Alicia, were you qualified for that? Are you kidding me? It's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. And so one of the things about history is, yes, you're going to have some tough times. Alicia, do you have some tough times? Yes. I can tell you about so many different things. People say, it's so happy that we're getting somebody to finally give. I remember the newspaper wrote an article. It's so happy that a certain individual who's an elected official is giving an annual report to the people is great. But I can give you the same article. It's too bad we didn't have Facebook then or social media, where that same media outlet wrote against me on council when I gave my annual. I'm the first one to do an annual report to the people. It's called Report to the People. Some of y'all might remember that. And I got criticized for it. It's just a lot of different things. And behind the scenes, of course, getting all those things done. But yes, behind the scenes, it's a struggle because it's a struggle to be independent. And I've never went the traditional way. If I would have went traditional, I probably wouldn't have went to public schools. My parents, in their stature, they should have, people used to tell them they need to send y'all to private schools. And if I went the traditional way, I never would have went to Grambling State. I would have ran to Brown, but Grambling State was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So when I got down there, I met like-minded people who their parents had put seeds in them. I met professors that was like a boot camp, getting me ready for the fight of life. you know. And when I came out of there, I felt like Muhammad Ali. I'm about to shock the world. Let's bring it on. Let's get it going. And I knew that people wouldn't understand me. I knew that the road I'm traveling, when you're a trailblazer, you ain't got nobody to look to. You blazing a trail. And so after I came out of council, young people now are elected to council. Now that's 20 years later. Now they'll never give me credit. Everybody jump up. I did it on my own, or Bob or somebody else did it. But 1999, count how many people prior to that were young on city council. Urban League, young professionals. I was asked by Sheila Adams at that time, she's a CEO, to start the first young professionals chapter in Cincinnati. So we got some young professionals going. That's wonderful. But they were, they don't have no idea that it was a struggle to get that chapter created. There are so many things I could go on and on. God blessed me with so many talents. I got people now, why don't you concentrate on one thing? You need to be about one thing. No, I don't fit in one box. God didn't want me. He gave me a lot of talents, and I'm supposed to max them out. I'm going to max them out. So I say all that, and I say, as Women's History Month, you got a little behind the scenes about me. I'm not angry. I don't want you to think, oh, she's so angry. No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry because we expected this. I already knew that the world is not fair. Do I accept it? No. And that gets me. Everybody accepts it. Something happened. I tell you about New Friendship Baptist Church. We're in a $1 billion development fight, billions of dollars around us. We got a plan. We got all this. And I get so many people coming to me, our color. Well, that's Cincinnati. They got you. What? Why are you throwing in the white towel? And then you go on Sunday and you want to preach to me about we can do it. You want to tell me that the God I serve is the same God that serves everyone else. You want to tell me I'm just as good. But when you get in the room, you scared to speak up. When you're in the room, you don't do nothing. When you're in the room, if you don't know it, you don't bring the right people in the door. And then you just wave the white towel. Well, that's how it is. No, that's not how it is. I don't accept it. I refuse to accept it. And then when somebody else does it, it's great. All of a sudden now, hashtag resistance. We've been resisting. Somebody else shows up, it's the greatest thing. Somebody else comes to the community. Oh my God, now the community is wonderful. No. You got to appreciate who we are, what God gave us. And we got to really believe what we're preaching. So anyway, that's part of the Alicia Reece story. Albert White checking in from Miami. Thank you. Eric Taylor, basketball player. Thank you. Jerry Baker, thank you for checking in. Teddy Staples, thank you for checking in. Don't forget, we are on Facebook Live. I need you to hit us, Alicia Reece Soul Food Podcast. Hit that page. I need you to like it. Second, I need you to share it. Third thing I need you to do is to subscribe to our new YouTube page, Reece Talk Media. It's been my dream that I've always wanted to have my own network, my own communications company, and God is making it happen, making it possible. And just remember that when you're independent, there's a different route. When you're dependent, and of course, they're going to send you that pink slip. If they want to, they're going to tell you, they're going to bring you in like they did at the Cohen or whatever hearings. And they're going to stand you up and they're going to point. There she is. That's our woman. That's our African-American. Oh, by the way, please don't talk. Please don't be heard. Please don't share your resume. Please don't show your talent. Just stand up and wave. That's not the route I'm going. That's not the route the women that I'm going to be featuring this month on our show, Alicia Reece Soul Food. Like our page. Hope I gave you some hot sauce. Might need some water after this one. But you got it. Alicia Reece, uncensored, unfiltered, the real deal. And believe me, that's just a fifth of the story. So I don't know. I might share a little bit more next time. But you gotta like our page. See you Friday. Adam Clayton Powell. Let's find out about a man who actually got some bills passed. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
That's it.
to Cincinnati's 24-hour urban gospel connection. Inspiration, 10:50 a.m. And the new 103.1 FM, WGRI, Cincinnati.
With SRN News, I'm Ron DeRostra. His
Okay, we had a little flub on our little thing,
Yeah,
but
he was sitting there showing me the hotkeys because last time they said about your show was they was thinking about training me to do your show, but out the blue, Carl had asked me and Tyler earlier just a second ago, like, are y'all running the show? Tyler was like, usually it's Matt, because Matt had asked me to come in at 1:30 today. Right before you came in, Matt looked at me and was like, I'm gonna have you run the show today. So he was showing me like the hotkeys real quick, but even though it was in Q, he still had it in audio and utility, audition and utility. So that's why you was hearing it.
oh, but they couldn't hear it. Okay. Okay, so I don't know how to do this for YouTube. We're still on the YouTube, I think. See you guys. Okay, so you have to go to